So it's finally revealed that the power, the aura we've been seeing as far as this black mist stuff is actually from Captain Ukitake, who has been in the show since the very beginning as a very sickly captain. And there's been many times in the old school Bleach, if you've seen it, where he just kind of is away for long periods of time because of how sickly he is, which always begs the question is, if he's so sickly, how's he a captain? Well, all is revealed in this episode, as he is now the embodiment of the right hand of the Soul King and is able to keep the Soul King from dying and keep the worlds together. Who should have died when he was 3 years old, but is able to live his life to the age that he is now. As Yuba's been going here exclaiming how powerful he is with the Almighty, he's blocking Yoriichi, he's blocking any type of ambushes that the allies are trying to go against him. He's like, bro, I already see it coming. This is not a big deal. But what he didn't see is this, the Soul King saving himself kinda, as the right hand comes out of nowhere and just grasps onto the Soul King to make him still, so it stops all the earthquakes in all dimensions. Which is very interesting as far as you're wondering, like, wait a minute, if he's able to see everything, then why didn't he see this output? Now that the Soul King has come and kind of saved himself, you notice how the body of the Soul King, who's in that chrysalis, doesn't have his arms. So now that we've found the right hand of the Soul King, by chance, where is the left hand of the Soul King? We shall have to see about that later. Now, it's a shame in this scene that it's literally two dead people talking to each other, as Ukitake is going to sacrifice himself, and he knew that this was going to happen even before the fighting started, that this day is going to come where he must use the power of the right hand of the Soul King to save all of Cerate. But here we have Captain Unohara. I love how when she opens her eyes, she's gone to the Kenpachi mode, as she knows she's going to go and sacrifice herself to bring out the essence, the true Kenpachi, Zaraki. And so, yeah, we have two captains saying a farewell to each other. And I love how Ukitake is like, oh, don't worry, we'll be seeing each other soon, as they pass on to the next life. And of course, our boy Aizen shows up and shows out as he comes forward. I love how he's tricking the new head captain. He unlocked his mouth, but he steps forward. He's like, wait, why is all the other stuff unlocked already? Which is basically Aizen's power, you know, with the perception issues. And of course, Aizen's like, go ahead, use those other keys. So he does. So it's kind of Aizen being Aizen, using the power that he has. Head captain's like, hey, I've unlocked your ankles, but can you come over here and sit in this chair back here? Oh, don't worry about it. We're just gonna take you up to the surface and breathe that oh so nice Soul Society air. And Aizen's like, for one, I know what's happening in Soul Society, and it's definitely not fresh air we'll be breathing. And you gotta love how there's always one idiot. Like, I don't understand what the thought process of that guy was. Now, on a writing aspect, they wanted to show how powerful Aizen is. Makes sense. But dude's like, we just unbound Aizen. He's like, excuse me, I'm going to bind him back up before we put him in the chair. Why? What are you doing? And that's why the kid's like, you fool. And he loses his fingers. Now, he's not dead. But unless he loses a lot of blood, he will, but he just lost all his fingers. And it's like, how much of an idiot can you be? This is Aizen whom they've had issues dealing with pretty much all of Bleach. And then you think, oh, I'm just gonna rebind him up. It's no big deal. Yeah, you deserve to lose your fingers, my guy. But Aizen's like, okay, all right. It's gotten that bad, you asked for my help, huh? Okay, all right, I see how it is. So here it is, Aizen stepping on the scene. What was once an enemy, they're trying to make an ally. But hopefully it doesn't seem like it, but hopefully he doesn't get that trope of, you know, whenever you have an enemy and then they become your ally, they get hit with a Nerf stick and they are nowhere near as powerful. But the way Aizen's been carrying on, I'm pretty sure Aizen's definitely gonna continue to be very powerful. So, you know, pour one out for his future opponent. As far as for differences in between the manga and the anime in this one, it pretty much was the whole episode. The backstory of Ukitake as a child was in the manga, where we see his parents are trying to ask the right hand god to save their child. And that was pretty much it. So all the effects you see after that, where he's drinking the tears, him manhandling that dude, like the way he moved so quickly, the guy's hand, and like he could have like straight up like twisted his hand, crushed him, but he just like, here, let's shake hands. I was like, man, the way that was handled in the manga, Ukitake was explaining everything about the right hand of the Soul King to Urahara. As Urahara, you know, being inquisitive, being a scientist, is like, what in the world's happening here? And he kind of explains, like, and pretty much everyone in the lab as well, but it was more so directed to Urahara. And he's explaining, like, what happened as he's a child, what happened, everything that was in the backstory where they were talking in front of the statue was pretty much stated in the lab. So we didn't get those extra scenes as we get here, which is great because visually it looks nice, and visually, you know, having the backstory or even reminded in more detail the backstory of Ukitake as he's climbing up the ranks, as he's first as a child, then deciding to go to Soul Society, then even though he's sickly, still fighting pretty strongly, and you know, going from there. So overall, definitely not a bad backstory, because it does give more info, especially for someone that's given up their life for all of Soul Society. But overall, a great episode. I'm still sitting here like, come on. I know this is only the third episode, which is cool, and I know I'm going to appreciate it more in the long run when this is finally over, how they kind of have drawn out and explained everything with the world building and detail. So I'm not like hating on it at all, but Lord knows I'm sitting here like, okay, let's get to the fighting. We're getting some fighting here with Ichigo and stuff, but Lord knows there's a lot of fighting that's definitely going to be happening. Even in the main theme song shows a lot of fighting between characters. So I just like, let's get to that. I want to see that. And it will happen the way that they're going and the pace that they're going. It's going to definitely happen soon. They're taking the time to establish everything to this point. So overall, good episode. Tell me what you guys think in the comments down below. But make sure you are not new here. Make sure you guys like the video. Make sure you guys subscribe if you enjoy what we're doing here, because there's definitely going to be a lot more anime we discuss with Bleach and others here on the channel. So it's never a boring time. But do not forget that Patreon has the wild reactions that we have to even an episode like this. So feel free to check that out if you so choose to. I love having you guys around, and I love hearing what you got to say. Please no spoilers in the comments down below. Make sure you guys be safe, take care, and Lord willing, I will see you next time. Bye-bye for now.
This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon.